The IndeeLift Emergency Services model was purpose-built to bridge the gap from the ground to the gurney for lifts and transport. In this video, we will demonstrate how first responders can easily and safely lift heavy patients using the IndeeLift HFL 550E Emergency Services model. For this demonstration, we used a volunteer weighing more than 450 pounds. When the first responders arrive at the scene, they unfold the unit and proceed to the location of the incident. After normal triage, the patient is assisted onto the seat and the first responders use the waist belt to secure the patient to the IndeeLift. With the simple press of a button, the patient is smoothly and gently raised to a height of 21 inches in about 1 minute. Once raised to the full height, the patient can be assisted from the IndeeLift with a cane or walker, or be transferred to a wheelchair or gurney. At times, a patient can be down in an area difficult to access, such as a bathroom or in a tight space between their bed and the bedroom wall. In such instances, the IndeeChuck is used. The first responders deploy the IndeeChuck and place it next to the patient. Then they assist the fallen onto the IndeeChuck. As shown in this demonstration, with as few as 2 emergency services personnel, they can simply slide the patient from the area with limited access to a more open area where the IndeeLift or gurney is located. Without bending or stooping over, the first responders use the IndeeChuck to position the patient onto the IndeeLift and strap the patient onto the IndeeLift seat. As previously demonstrated, with the simple press of a button, the patient is gently and safely raised to the full height of 21 inches. Once raised, the patient is unbuckled from the IndeeLift, where they can stand and walk away or transfer to a wheelchair or a gurney. The IndeeLift can also be used for patient transport, even with very heavy patients. Once seated and secured using both the waist and chest belts, the first responder slightly raises the IndeeLift seat for proper balance, then gently tilts the IndeeLift rearward. The first responder now uses the IndeeLift like a dolly to easily maneuver the patient through tight spaces, even around corners, moving them to a waiting gurney. Well, there you have it. The IndeeLift HFL 550E is the solution for easily and safely lifting and moving heavy patients while eliminating risk or injury to either the patient or the first responders. IndeeLift, bridging the gap from the ground to the gurney. It's as simple as that.
Speaking to other firefighters, the #1 reason to use this is to save your backs. We all get injured. You want to have a long career, you want to have a full career, you need IndeeLift, and this is going to save you.